All right, y'all. So, as I reported the other day, the superhero prequel stuff is over with Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 90. So, today we have the full spoilers for Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 90 going into Chapter 91. And I'm going to go over these today. The actual manga chapter will be out in a couple days on the 20th. So about 3 days away, but if you want to know all the details of everything and my initial thoughts, I haven't read these yet. This is the video for you. I will have a review of the chapter up on the 20th, so check that out on that day. But where we actually go more in depth. But for right now, let's go ahead and look at the plot of Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 90. Last warning, here we go. The credit to DBS Hype and DBS Chronicles for the translation. Chapter 90, Showdown with Dr. Hedo. The chapter opens with Officer Krillin asking Cricket District citizens if they knew which convenience store the zombies worked at. One of the citizens points him to a nearby store. Krillin visits the store and asks the zombies to come with him to the police station so he could ask them about their boss. Just then, Krillin notices Pilaf Gang's Mai in the store and gets distracted. Seeing this as a chance, the zombie trio tries to run away, but Officer Krillin slaps them at gunpoint and arrests them. This is the scene that we saw in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the movie, where the trio of zombie androids, or whatever they are, you see them there, like on the security camera, and Magenta is talking about Dr. Hedo making them. So that's what would lead to, obviously, Hedo's arrest. We're actually seeing it now, like more context of what happened. So that's good. That's what I was hoping they'd do with this prequel stuff, is kind of go more into that stuff. So there you go. Meanwhile, we see Goten on Kintoon, which is the Nimbus Cloud, flying to his school. He gets off Kintoon to cover the remaining distance by bus. He does this to keep the fact that he comes from a faraway a secret. Yeah, Mount Paozu, which is where Goku's house is and where Goten and Gohan are from, is not near the school. This is covered in Dragon Ball Z. It's quite the quest to get there. Moving on. He says, Chalk waits for Goten. They then get on the bus. Chalk asks Goten if he really lives in that area, as he's never met him outside of school. Goten tells him that he doesn't like to come out of the house that much. Well, he's definitely a kid from, like, nowadays. Fela, Goten's classmate, asks him how he's on good terms with Trunks since Trunks is a year older than him. Goten answers to her by saying that their families have been close friends for years, so naturally him and Trunks grew up together since childhood, which is funny because while that is true, let's not forget that Vegeta was mad at Goku and, envious of him and, was considered him a rival for many years. They're still rivals now, but not in the same way, that they were, way back when. You know what I mean? But he's not lying. I mean, Bulma and Chi-Chi and Bulma and Goku really have been friends since episode 1, chapter 1 of Dragon Ball. That's the oldest friendship in the series, as far as like when the series came out. Fela then requests Goten to convince Trunks to ask her out for the dance party that weekend. Chalk thinks Trunks would already have someone to go to the party with since he's so popular, but Goten clears it out that there's nobody such even though he knows Trunks wanted to ask out Mai for the same. Suddenly, the bus stops and Dr. Hedo's Beta number 7 stands in front of them. In the leaks, I thought it was, or in the drafts, I thought it was Clean God, but then I realized it wasn't him. I thought it was him, though. Beta number 7 calls out Goten knowing that he's a Saiyaman. Chalk notes how recently there have been a lot of people following Goten. That's true. Chalk opens up the window and helps Goten escape from the bus. Goten runs to an alley and uses his wristwatch to transform into Saiyaman X2. X2 starts fighting Beta number 7. Fela and Chalk note how a Saiyaman always appears when Goten disappears. X2 defeats Beta number 7 with ease. At Blue Hall High School, Scale sells invites to the dance party. Trunks comes walking. Scale tells him that Clean God himself will show up in the party. So, the real Clean God's going to show up? I can tell you that's unexpected. Part 2. Mai joins the conversation. She notes something and then asks Trunks if he wants to join her to the party. He says yes. Then we see Mai looking at a spy bee flying nearby. It's none other than Hedo's. He listens to the entire conversation and gets excited upon hearing that Clean God himself would show up in the party. Hedo drops the mission to find the disc and decides to go to the party. Alpha 12 notes that you're allowed entry only if you come with a female student. This is already getting kind of funny. Back at school, Trunks tells Goten that he's happy that he didn't have to reveal his Saiyaman identity to Mai and things still went smoothly with her. Alright. I don't know what to tell you, man. Trunks leaves as he has to go buy some clothes for the party, which is why he turns down Goten's offer to play games. As Goten wonders what to answer Fela, Mai pulls Goten to a corner as she sees the spy bee near him. Mai tells Goten that they're being watched. How is Mai like so smart? She's so much smarter than everybody else, yo. Is Dragon Ball woke? I don't know about that, but it is. I mean, she's always been smart, but I mean, I don't know. She seems to be pretty damn smart. I don't know about woke. I'm just kidding when I say that, but it's still interesting. It's over if they find out where you live. Mai suspects that those androids from before had been watching them all the time. Mai just knows stuff, bro. She just knows. Goten realizes that's how they knew where Goten was and sent their androids. Oh, there you go. Mai remembers Beta Number One's words that he said he was made by Dr. Hedo. Mai looked up at the name and found out that Hedo expertises in androids. Since nobody knows where Hedo's hideout is, Mai decided to lure him out by mentioning the Clean God dance party, knowing that he's a big fan of the hero. Goten is shocked to hear that all this was a part of Mai's plan, while Trunks is super happy. Mai asks Goten to help keep this a secret from Trunks. It's just, it's a lot of, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot going on. Day of dance party arrives, but what's going on is not that captivating. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine for reading it, but it's not that interesting, at least not yet. Goten is there with Fela. Trunks and Mai arrive. Trunks deposits the disc bag to the staff and asks him to keep it safe for him. Everyone's eyes are on Mai as she wears a battle armor. Fela notices Mai. She considers her a formidable enemy who stands between her and Trunks. Trunks asks Mai to come to the first row to watch the Clean God's appearance on stage, but Mai says she'll watch it from there. When is Trunks going to realize that she's not into him, bro? She's into the older, future version of him, not this one. Goten asks Mai if Hedo would really show up there. Mai is very sure of it. Okay, so Goten knows. Trunks is the only one that doesn't know. Goten and Mai know, but Trunks does not know. Once he comes, Mai will be able to recognize him as she's seen his photos. Trunks goes to the front row and stands beside Hedo. Okay, so that explains that image that we talked about yesterday in the visual leaks of that. Trunks and Hedo get into a conversation. They both talk about how big fans they are of Clean God. Hedo shows him Clean God's limited edition t-shirt. Trunks envies him. Hedo tells that he also got Clean God's autograph that day, but someone stole it recently. Trunks feels sorry for him and curses the thieves. Mai then notices Hedo's with Trunks. She tells Trunks to get away from him as she points a gun at Hedo, but Beta stops her from firing the gun. Beta was there with Rula. Just then, the police raid the party. Dr. Hedo, you are under arrest for stealing bodies from the mortuary, says Officer Krillin. Okay, so now we have translations for that. He's straight up gonna arrest this dude. Krillin thanks Mai for the tip. And it's funny because I remember when the movie came out, I remember, I think even when I heard the spoilers from Goresh, I was like, is Krillin the one that arrests him? Doesn't that make the world seem smaller? Anyways, Hedo uses his smoke screen gun to cause a distraction and escapes. Krillin decides to go after Hedo alone while his team searches for his hideout. Trunks asks Mai if she did all this to catch Hedo. Mai says yes. Trunks asks her why she didn't tell him about this sooner. Mai tells him that Bulma wanted her to keep an eye on Trunks so he doesn't get involved in unnecessary things. The staff tells Trunks that the disc bag has been stolen. Mai tells Trunks to become Saiyaman X1 and go recover the disc from Hedo. Trunks is shocked to know that Mai knew his secret identity. Why are you shocked about this now, bro? What else is she hiding from you, Trunks? Trunks thought she thought X1 to be future Trunks. Oh boy. Imagine being in a weird love triangle with like an alternate timeline version of yourself. Only in like fiction do you, I mean, obviously there's no time travel in real life, but you get what I'm saying. Like only in like this kind of fiction, like comic book slash like, you know, shonen stuff, do you see things like this. This is very Japanese, you know what I'm saying? Trunks thought she thought X. Okay, Mai tells him that it was what she initially thought, but in this world, only one Trunks exists, and that's him. Okay, at least we have that cleared up. Trunks promises to Mai to catch Hedo and become the strongest and coolest superhero for her. After that, would she let to go out on dates with him? Mai agrees. Oh my god. Mai agrees and says if he catches Hedo, she'll go out on dates with him anytime he wants. I don't know how I feel about that, man. I already did a video on this, y'all. The woman is like in her 50s, and yes, I know she became a kid, but she still has the memories of when she was older, and thus it's an adult in a kid's body. And she's agreeing to go on dates with like a 17-year-old. Again, like I said in my video, it's not like the most offensive thing that Dragon Ball has ever done. And I'm not, you know, boycotting Dragon Ball, but it's like annoying and just weird and creepy. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't like it. I'm not just, I think it's played out, honestly. Beta hands over the disc to Hedo, confirming that it was indeed Trunks who had it. Trunks and Goten catch up with Krillin, who's after Hedo. Krillin tells them that Hedo is Gero's grandson, who also expertises, I've never used that word before, I don't think, in creating androids. Hedo used the androids to work part-time at a convenience stores to gather research funds for himself. That's so weird, but I guess kind of smart. Krillin asked the boys to keep it a secret from Bulma and others. Okay. Trunks remembers Gero being the one who created Cell. Yeah, it was in the disc that your sister had to get working for you. Remember that? Krillin tells the boys that it seems that a more dangerous organization has started making its moves. How does he even know that? Before he names the organization, he gets interrupted by a call from headquarters. The lady in the call reports Krillin that it's indeed Red Ribbon Army who was after Hedo as they suspected. Interesting. That's unexpected. Okay. Trunks and Goten overhear the name Red Ribbon Army. Trunks asks Krillin if Red Ribbon Army is the same evil organization that existed in the past. I mean, yeah, bro, of course. Krillin says yes. It seems they've been recently revived. I didn't know they had actual intel about this. Krillin fears if Red Ribbon Army teams up with Hedo, something bad is going to happen. Yeah, you're telling me. Krillin says that the disk's date is very dangerous. This data, is very dangerous. Yeah, the cell thing. Trunks confirms that it had the blueprint of a creature. Krillin says they need to hurry before Red Ribbon gets to Hedo. Trunks and Goten are super happy as the great evil they've been waiting for is finally here. Yeah, that's true. And yet they show up late in the movie. Krillin regrets telling the whole story to the kids. Hedo reaches his hideout. Saiyaman X1, X2, and Krillin also arrive. Hedo has no choice but to activate the not yet completed artificial Dinosaur #1. Interesting. Jinzo, whatever Japanese is for dinosaur #1. Why couldn't we get more of that? Maybe Cell Max is like inspired by artificial dinosaur #1. So it's an android dinosaur. Artificial dinosaur 1 grabs X2 and slaps X1 away. Krillin punches the dinosaur, but it fires a beam at Krillin. Krillin dodges it. I'm glad he was able to teach the dinosaur how to fire blast, bro. That's pretty awesome. Dinosaur destroys the laboratory, firing multiple beams. Hedo is worried. That's probably why he put the failsafe in Cell Max. That actually kind of makes sense now. Again, that's a good move. There are some cool things in this chapter that I think kind of help the movie out a little bit. Not too much, but there's something. A little bit. Dinosaur grabs X1 by his paws on the ground. X1 tries a key wave attack, but the dinosaur endures it. Krillin starts attacking all over his body to find a weak point. He finds the weak point behind his neck and launches the Destructo Disc. It makes the dinosaur unable to move. Trunks and Goten are out of his grasp. They then turn Super Saiyan and dash through its body with Cyclone-type double hurricane attack, making a hole in its body. Hedo is worried that the dinosaur got destroyed. X1 and X2 strike their cleanup pose. Krillin handcuffs Hedo and his androids and arrests them. Krillin takes the disc case from Hedo. He opens it but finds no disc there. Instead, it contained Hedo and Clean God's photograph with his autograph. Oh, he switched it out. That's clever. I like that. That's cool. Krillin asks what happened to the disc. Hedo says that he destroyed the disc as it was a pain in the ass. The data stored in his brain, however. So all the cell schematics are in his brain. I mean, he is a genius, so does that really surprise you? He has good memories too. Hedo says that he's least interested in Garo's research. He just happened to keep the disc as the case was of perfect size to keep the autograph. Goten finds the destroyed disc. And so Hedo and the androids were arrested. At the request of the zombies' families, their sentences were reduced and they were returned to their homes. I wasn't expecting that, but okay. The only crime Hedo was charged with was stealing corpses from mortuary and putting them to work at a convenience store. So he was sentenced to 3 months in jail. Only 3 months? Didn't they say this started like 7 months before? Or maybe the granola arc was 7 months before. Who knows, man? I could have sworn they said 7 months, right? Maybe there was a time skip. I don't know. Hedo intends to, I guess you know what? I guess maybe like the trial took up a few months. You know what I mean? That could make sense. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it in my own head. Hedo intends to continue his research from prison remotely. He launches Hachimaru, which is a much better version than Tentomaru, which is the original Spy B. The chapter closes with Hedo making a vow to one day create the strongest android in the world, which of course would be Cell Max. And note, Hedo's ambitions lead to more incidents in the future. Next time, the superhero arc begins with a bang. So they are going to go through the superhero arc. It's not going to be just a one-page thing. We're going to get an adaptation to the manga. Unsure what changes they'll make, if any, or what more context they'll add to the scenes. We'll find out. That's it for this full spoiler look or review or whatever, or discussion. I don't know. Some things I like, some I didn't like. Excuse me. Some things I like, some things I didn't like. But I'm glad it's over, honestly, and I'm glad we're moving on to like more interesting stuff with Piccolo and Gohan. In my opinion, only. Some of y'all like this, some don't. It is what it is. More coming soon from me. Take care. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.